USA Basketball has begun training camp. They've got a showcase series of exhibition games beginning August 7th against Puerto Rico, and then the FIBA World Cup with their first game on August 26th. I'm Robin Lundberg, joined now by the coach of Team USA and the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr. And Coach, I don't think people see this roster and think dream team right away, but as a coach, is there a level of excitement in getting to mold and build something here?
Oh man, this is so exciting, Robin. It's just to be part of USA Basketball. This is my first time as head coach. I was assistant in the last World Cup and Olympics with Coach Popovich, and it's a thrill. You're always getting a group of guys who are excited to be here. I mean, it's a commitment. It's 6 weeks out of their off season. So the guys who come are the ones who really want to be here and want to compete. And in this particular case, we have a pretty young team, so not a lot of FIBA experience, but we had a great practice today, and it's a really great group to coach. I'm excited.
What's the hardest adjustment, going into the FIBA experience? You often hear people say it's more physical internationally.
Yeah, it's a different game. I think you have to go into it with full respect that this is their game. It's not our game. Our game is the NBA. And so part of this first week is really trying to teach all the different rules, also the different ways that the officials interpret certain plays and certain actions. And so it's an adjustment, and it's a big part of being successful is how quickly can you teach your American players to play FIBA basketball and to have it be instinctive and for them to not have to think about it.
Basketball once was thought of as a U.S. game, but it is now a worldwide game. What do you think has a better starting five? The best five in the U.S. or the best five from around the world?
Well, I mean, we know how many great players come from everywhere now. You immediately think of Giannis and Jokic, of course, Luka. I mean, these are all three clearly top. I don't know, top 10 for sure, maybe top 5 players. So the game, our game has expanded so much throughout the world, and this has been the plan ever since the '92 Dream Team. The NBA wanted to expand, and we're thrilled that we did because we have so many great influences from around the world. But it also makes international competition much tougher because these teams are so good now, and it requires us to really put together a hell of a team and really compete and play our best to win these tournaments.
Is there a player that you've seen so far or you think fans are going to see and it's really going to open up their eyes as to how good he is once this competition begins?
I don't know that I could pinpoint one guy, Robin. I think that the general consensus with this team and our coaching staff is we've got a lot of really good young talent and guys who are capable of making a leap to that next stratosphere. But it's one of the beautiful parts of playing FIBA and playing for USA Basketball. There's great personal development for these young players, getting this experience and playing with the group, going overseas and playing. These guys are all going to get a lot better.
I previously had seen you single out the New York guys, or I guess I should say the Villanova guys, Mikal Bridges and Jalen Brunson. Do you see them as the leaders of this team in a way?
They definitely are two leaders. We'll have other leaders as well. And every team sort of takes on its own shape and form. But even through one day of practice, you can see that, Mikal and Jalen are so mature. They're winners. They won multiple national championships at Villanova. They've played on winning teams in the NBA, and they might actually be the elder statesmen on this team. That's how young we are. So we're going to rely on Jalen and Mikal, but there will be others too who will step up. I'm really excited to see Brandon Ingram play and Anthony Edwards and Austin Reeves, and I go down the list. We've got a really good young group.
Speaking of elder statesmen, are we going to get to see Steph Curry on that Olympic squad? You going to make that happen?
I know a guy. So I know a guy who might be able to make that happen. So we'll see.
I know Steph recently said he's in his prime right now. Would you agree with that? And how far do you think that can extend to?
He's definitely playing as well as he's ever played in his life. So that is a testament to his incredible conditioning and his commitment to staying at that level. It requires a lot of work, but he puts that work in. He's never been more confident. I can tell you that. His body's stronger. He knows more tricks than ever before. The guy is, he's an alien. You know, they don't come around like Steph. And so we're just trying to give him every opportunity to add to his legacy, what he's done, what our team has done over the last 10 years. We want to keep it going.
We talked about some of the great players across the globe, but you've seen him up close for so long. Do you consider him the best player in the world right now?
Steph Curry? Well, I am his coach, so I will say yes. Steph is the best player in the world, and I can tell you that Adrian Griffin will tell you that Giannis is the best player in the world. Darvin Ham's going to tell you that LeBron's the best player in the world. I don't know how to rank these guys. They're all great, but Steph's my guy, so he's the best.
Another guy who's now your guy is Chris Paul. Maybe wasn't your guy before. I saw you say how you hate him when he's on the other team, you love him when he's on your team. But you mentioned that your team needed a shift. What is the shift that Chris Paul can provide, and how does that fit alongside Steph, Clay, and Draymond and the rest?
Chris is such an incredible competitor. He's one of the all-time great competitors in my mind. He's so smart. He controls games. He's thinking 3 steps ahead all the time. He gets any shot he wants in the mid-range. Our team last year needed another way to attack, and we became a little too one-dimensional with Steph and high ball screens. We needed another playmaker and to give us a different look. And Chris is, as we know, one of the all-time great pick and roll players, and he'll know how to control the tempo. And it's hugely important, especially in playoff games, to have guys like that. And they're hard to find. So we're excited to add Chris to what we have and to see what we can do next year.
You think pundits have slept on that addition a little bit?
I don't really care. Not my job. You guys can pundit away, and I don't really care.
Fair enough. What do you see as the biggest challenges going back to Team USA, and what are you looking forward to the most about what you're about to embark on?
Since I've had the experience, Robin, as an assistant coach, two different tournaments, it's an amazing time to be with players and coaches who you're used to competing against. And now all of a sudden you're all competing together. And there's something very special about that, competing for your country and with these people who you admire so much. I mean, I obviously watch NBA games all the time, and I'm blown away when I watch Ty Lue and Eric Spoelstra coach. I mean, these guys are the best in the business. And so to work with them and to work with Mark Few, who is one of the great college coaches and has built an incredible program at Gonzaga, for me, every day going in those coaches meetings is amazing. And then to get on the floor with all these young players, like I said, who I'm used to coaching against, that's so much fun. So it's great experience.
Last thing for you, Coach, and appreciate the time. Is there one specific anecdote to that where you've coached against a player and you worked with them at Team USA and it was sort of an eye-opening or a memorable experience for you in that regard?
I mean, there's a lot of them, just because this is a 6-week run from now until the last game in Manila. It's 6 weeks, and so that's really what makes it special, is the relationships and the experiences that you share with these guys. And then what's kind of cool is when you go back to the NBA next year, we're gonna play Brooklyn, and there's Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson, and we just went through this experience of trying to win a goal together. That's meaningful. In the past I would just coach against those. Now it's we're for sure hugging it up and hopefully celebrating some great memories, but we will have shared something very special together, and that's meaningful.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck with Team USA and in the upcoming World Cup.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Rob.